It's a very exciting time to be a wrestling fan.
If you're in the business of making money, it would behoove you to be a safe and inclusive space.
Whether you agree with what someone is saying has nothing to do with his right to say it.
What's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrifice my time so you don't have to. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. AEW, they just cannot catch a break, can they? And I tell you what, this is the most charitable I think I will ever be to the company going forward in regards to talking about the ratings and the viewership number, just to kind of throw an olive branch out there to some of the AEW fanboys, because I really, in the end of the day, want you guys to be on the side of reality, not the side of WWE. I'm not saying that because they're not the best in the world, and they currently aren't the best right now, in my opinion. I mean, they might be the best by default, but that's like saying shit is better than piss. Trust me, that ain't the case right now, or vice versa, depending on what kind of, I don't know, scat you like. You're gross anyways. But before I do that, I think it's only best if I read you the article just to set up the premise. But, you know, you gotta meet me halfway now, okay? So let's read this together, and then we'll come back, and then we'll discuss all this afterwards. So this is coming from Fightful. Again, the link in the description box, as always, will be located down below underneath the video. Do you not know how YouTube works? Okay, description box. Look down there if you want to read it on your own. AEW Dynamite March 27th episode sees total viewership and key demo rating numbers decline. Hey, look who it is. Okay, viewership and rating information for AEW Dynamite on March 27th. According to WrestleNomics, AEW Dynamite on March 27th drew 747,000 viewers. This number is down from the 798,000 viewers of AEW Dynamite on March 20th. The demo rating came in as 0.23 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, down from 0.27. Dynamite ranked number 3 for the night on cable behind NBA on ESPN. 2 games were broadcast on March 27th. The LA Clippers versus Philadelphia 76ers and the Phoenix Suns versus Denver Nuggets. Both games outranked Dynamite. Of course, Rage will put down this. Okay. Yo, check out Robert D. Felice's articles, by the way. That's my nigga right there. But check it out. Of course he would put something like this. This is all we used to talk about back in the days. Two surging stars face off, Swerve Strickland and Takeshita. That got 161,000 views on YouTube so far as of the making of this video. Will Ospreay and Katsuyori Shibata, I think I said that right, could have botched it, got 154,000 views. The Fatal 4-Way match with the women, by the way, the women where Mercedes Moné was on announcing, commentary duties, 104,000 views. The Best Friends versus the Undisputed Kingdom, 75,000 views. And the EVPs and Private Party, the EVPs who are supposed to be the draw. I like the characters right now, but just saying, man, the EVPs, man, looks like they're killing it currently right now in AEW, and I mean that literally. They got 63,000 views. Mind you, it's almost 24 hours since that match would have taken place. I'm recording this at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, or I guess even. How do you defend that? How do you defend that? I'm just saying, folks, the numbers are right there. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? That's the numbers for YouTube in a near 24-hour period. And this is the number currently at the moment. I guess there's only one thing left to do, and that's, talk about this. So let's do that. But again, check out this dude right here. See that guy right there? See that? Come on! Goddamn stupid ass! God damn it! Damn it! God, just stupid! God damn it! Come on! You can do. Damn it! So that olive branch that I was telling you guys about. Let's get one thing straight first and foremost, okay? Like I said, I'm going to be courteous. I'm going to be charitable before I discuss what I really want to talk about. And that's when talking about the AEW ratings. Guys, we always have to take into account, obviously, there are other external circumstances regarding and revolving around AEW. Obviously, there are people who are working. Obviously, there are people who are most likely, I don't know, maybe they're recording it somewhere. Maybe they're watching it on a different device. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Their social media engagement last night wasn't all that well. I don't remember seeing them trending none last night. I could be wrong, but I don't remember. As a matter of fact, I think I seen Raw or SmackDown trending last night on Wednesday, and I didn't see AEW trending at all, which kind of tells you something, right? WWE is trending on a Wednesday night versus AEW not trending on their own night. But like I said, there are many external factors that you could take into account when discussing this. Obviously, people are working. Obviously, people are doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. That's the closest I can say in regards to the charitability. I botched that so badly. Charitability, goddammit. In regards to talking about the AEW fanboys, I don't know what else to say past that point right there, honestly. I really don't. Because now we have to talk about things and we have to confront certain arguments that I don't know how you can be charitable about it or defend it. For an example, so I'm not going to bring up or beat down a dead horse when talking about Mercedes Moné. I just feel as if I have to at least reiterate one more time that she was there last night. And you can argue, Devontae, she wasn't put into a prominent position. There's a bunch of things you can argue. As a matter of fact, there's another olive branch for you guys when talking about the overall show. You can argue that maybe Tony Khan didn't advertise big enough names. Is that an appropriate argument? But then you have to ask yourselves, what big names could he have targeted? What are the big names that he could have advertised off rip without any problems? And he doesn't have that at the moment. He does not have any draws. Again, I like a guy like Bryan Danielson. You have beaten them and you have broken them down to the point where he wasn't really that big of a draw to begin with. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, but now, oh God, he's like a shell of his former self when it comes to the character aspect. He is now completely reverted back to the veteran the veteran, what would you say? I wouldn't say veteran. What would I say? Probably, I'll say like he's reverted back to his old self, but he's more wiser about it, right? You can argue that if you watch Bryan Danielson wrestle about 20 years ago. But it doesn't seem as if that the ratings in themselves and the correlation between the ratings happens to do with any of your favorites. Whether it happens to do with the actual mindset and the mentality of the matches being the drawing perspective, that isn't the case, obviously, because if that was the case, people would have came to watch the show. You know, even a guy like Swerve Strickland, I like him a lot. Doesn't seem as if he's that big of a draw right about now. Now, granted, if you put some time into him, put some effort into him, but that could be said about anybody, and that's, AEW's biggest problem. I ranted about this last night. When your focus is specifically on one criteria, what can you do about that, right? Your focus is strictly on one specific criteria, and you're trying to engage with that specific fan base, then you're no different than me, right? When it comes to YouTube, I have a niche audience. And I'm happy with the niche audience. I don't make any money from this in the end of the day. But you have, at the very least, to come down to that. That's what you have to at least tell yourself. There is no being in denial. It's acceptance that you are in a certain niche and you're not going to break that niche, or this is going to be your mentality going forward. Obviously, right? But here's the difference between me and Tony when talking about the numbers and everything. I have nothing to gain. I have nothing to look forward to as far as my channel is considered. It's just growing. That's it. Where it currently is right now at the moment, it's just going to grow from that perspective, or from that point, I should say. Whereas for Tony, I mean, you're looking to get a TV contract, dude. Like, you're looking to kind of, expand your wealth without having to touch your own money. And I would have to presume that money coming from that TV deal, you want to use to pay some of the superstars, right? You want to have bigger arenas, right? You want to innovate a little bit more, right? Well, that can only happen if you grow your audience, so advertisers will have a reason to want to do business with you. And you know, it's funny, that's a nice actual segue into all this also, because the main crush of this entire video is not just to set up the premise for you discussing AEW's numbers last night, it's to once and for all put to bed this whole stupid argument that ratings and viewership numbers mean absolutely nothing. Now, obviously from a personal perspective, people can say all they want to, well, it has nothing to do with your entertainment. And as I said before, as I'll say in the future, and as I'm going to say now, I do not like AEW's current product at the moment. I think it's the absolute shittiest ass water drinkable bullshit pollution solution that you could possibly think of, right? I think it's complete and utter hot dog goose water. But I need something at the very least to say, see, I'm not the only one that thinks like this. You know, you have your perspective and your argument and your defense as far as going out of your way to cope for the product currently at the moment. Well, here's me saying that not only do I hate the product, but look at everybody else who hates the product. That's from a personal perspective as to why I use the viewership numbers and the ratings in order to prove my argument. It's just to kind of segue into letting you know, hey, I have multiple evidence at the very least to prove the point of my opinion. You can argue all you want to that it's not objective as far as looking at the pure audience, because there are people who are going to like AEW, but I can at least tell you factually and objectively that there are more people who do not like AEW versus people who do like AEW. How do I know this? You take the peak number as far as where they peaked at a couple of years ago, their highest rating, almost 1.5 million fans, and they have dropped literally half before their TV contract was even up. They dropped literally half of that number, and almost their entire, since the point of when they started versus now, they've dropped 50% with this number currently at the moment. You look at this and you get mad when a person says something like, oh wow, you look at the ratings and you say something along the lines of, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Do you really want to push that narrative right now? That doesn't really seem too wise to me. Now, does it, Punky Brewster? Because I think you will want more people at this point in time to watch your product, and you wouldn't want to chase them away with your elite, no pun intended, esque type of mentality as far as the gatekeeper of professional wrestling. Do you really want that bestowed upon you guys? Because one, it kind of creates an atmosphere where it's a boys only club, but the boys only club happens to be a bunch of fucking nerds. That's one thing. I mean, I can't think of a better way to create an image for yourself that's pussy repellent, like you nerds walking around with your shitty fucking cosplay attire from the wrestlers with your extended belly hanging over your dickhead. I mean, whatever little dick you have left. And essentially telling everybody that this is the image of AEW. You can't come if all you're going to do is shade it all the time and talk about ratings and viewership numbers. See, here's the thing. I don't want to talk about ratings and viewership numbers. That's one of the misnomers that I usually get when talking about AEW. It's like, you all you do is focus on the things that don't have anything to do with the entertaining. Just entertain me then. Is it really that hard? Because I certainly would like to be entertained. I absolutely would like you to just put on a product that can get me to ignore the outside factors when talking about your company. I would love for you to give me some storylines and some angles where I can, come back on YouTube and I can talk about that instead, because I can guarantee you with the popularity and the retention I would get from talking about a storyline that's legitimately ongoing and trying to figure out the twists and turns of where they can go from that point to the other point, A, would be a longer video, meaning I can have a hell of a lot more retention, and B, I feel like it's a hell of a lot more satisfying. I got a lot of views from those fucking Bloodline storylines last year, like upwards. Like there was a point in time in February in 2024 or 23 where I would argue that was like top 5 biggest months for me because of the stuff that was happening with Sami and Roman, and that was all kayfabe. I stayed at that point getting like 3,000 to 4,000 views upwards. Even one time around that point in time, I think I got like 7,000 views for one of the fucking videos, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I think it was around that time though. Like, I was killing it on the views on a fucking fake story. Of course, I would rather talk about that than ratings. but you put us into a position, you put me in particular into a position where if I can't focus on anything that's entertaining enough, well, goddamn, the best thing that's happening in professional wrestling currently in both companies is the things that are happening outside of the wrestling. The backstage stuff is a hell of a lot more entertaining than what's currently going on in the ring, right? And one of those backstage things happens to be the ratings and the viewership numbers. So if you don't want me to do anything about it or talk about it or, bring some minds to this problem, obviously, then just give me a better product. Kill two birds with one stone. Give me a better product to not get people like me talking about this, and you grow at an exponential rate because, well, you're doing something that's actually bringing everybody in together. And I can harp all day on the things that I feel they need to do. Obviously, people have their own perspective and their own certain opinions. Obviously, I have my own certain opinions as a 31-year-old man. Obviously, I want to see more, more manliness. I want to see stories that can sink my teeth into. I want to see more sexy women being appealing as sexy women. I feel like those three things alone right there is what made the attitude era on top of the cursing and the bleeding. But you could take that, you could tie that in with the manliness stuff also. The whole fucking toxic masculinity. That's what you need. You need sexual appeal, you need toxic masculinity, and you need a story to make the whole sexual appeal and toxic masculinity actually mean more. That's what's going to get your ratings. That's what's going to draw at the end of the day. But when you sit back and you tell me not to care about the ratings, not to care about the viewership number, when these are the things that outright, these are the things that I want to see implemented inside of the actual product in itself, because I can tell you when that stuff was implemented at the peak of professional wrestling, it was drawing audiences left and right. And here you are doing the complete opposite of all that, and you're losing considerably. And I bring up ratings to show, hey, look at a time where the stuff that I'm talking about was actually blowing up a company versus the stuff that I don't want to see coincides with the ratings also of you guys treading water really, really fast. Now, that's from a personal perspective when talking about the ratings. But the reality of it in the end of the day is that why would you not want to focus on the ratings? Why would you not want to keep your eyes on the ratings, AEW fanboys? Because I would think, right, you need to know that number. So when the time comes for the television deal, none of your guys get released. None of your guys get put into a position, or even the company for that matter, gets put into a position where it could get canceled. Now, I'm not saying that AEW is on the path of getting canceled. That's fucking retarded. Although I would definitely say if it keeps it up with the numbers that it's currently doing at the moment, in what world does and you tell me, am I the delusional one? And what fucking universe and what world will a television company let you run your show on their programming, their primetime television, have ads or people who are wanting advertising on your show, and then that decrease to the point where there are no advertisers, but they're still paying you on that current deal at the moment, making them back how much money? Does that make any sense to you guys whatsoever? Of course the ratings mean everything. You can sit back all you want to and say that I'm entertained by the product and I'm not going to give a shit about the ratings. Well, guess what? If the ratings keep decreasing in the manner that they're decreasing currently at the moment, along with the viewership numbers, especially in those key demographics, well, what product are you going to have to watch at all? They're going to cancel them like really fast. I feel as if wrestling fans being stuck in their own emotional bubble don't really think things out with, I don't know, how do I put this? Because I don't want to call you guys like outright retarded, because I feel like you guys have some of you at the very least have your heart in the right place. I feel like the majority of you, I mean, personally, I don't give a shit, and I don't think you should be judging a wrestling company based off of this, but I can't ignore the fact that the majority of you do want to see an alternative to WWE. That's the good thing. You do want to see the wrestlers have contracts and have other places to work. That's a good thing from a virtuous standpoint, but it doesn't have anything to do with the current product, and it doesn't have anything to do with my entertainment. I'm happy that the guys have somewhere else to work, but I will still like to be entertained. Can we have that both at the same time? Can we have the guys, entertaining us while at the same time having a place to work? I don't feel as if why you have to do two of the things separately from each other. And you can sit back all you want to, and you can say that, well, Devontae, the product is good. Says who? Says you, not me. Who? You? No, that's not how that works at all. I don't care how many people at AEW at the moment. I don't care if you do have 740-something thousand fans. You may think that's a lot, but compared to where you were previously, you dropped half. How far are you willing to drop without understanding what the fuck is happening at the moment? How far are you willing to drop without understanding that what you need to do at the moment is you have to appease to people who haven't seen things in a while or haven't seen things at all? Constantly having to conform to the standards of professional wrestling at the moment when it comes to the social justice warriors nonsense, as far as the ethos of having to put women all over the goddamn place while doing the exact same thing the men are doing, but at a, I guess, less compelling rate. I mean, you're going to have the men go out there and cut these boring ass storylines, stupid ass promos. Not even storyline. That's actually would be decent if you knew what the fuck you were doing as far as creating something that was in the base of a storyline where we can all actually connect with. But, you know, you guys get to shoot from the hip all the fucking time. And I find that to be funny also all the time. Focus on the product. Be entertained by the product. But at the same time, you'll be the first ones to mark out over, look at what he said about this backstage stuff. Oh my God, he's so witty. He's going to bring some stuff up from all the backstage stuff. Well, okay, cool. There you go. And guess what? The casual audience, the people who do matter, no matter how much you want to put them down, no matter how much you want to say, it doesn't matter to me because I'm not those fans. You can say it as much as you want. That's your prerogative. My prerogative at the end of the day is wanting to see AEW surviving, and they're going to only survive with the casual audience still being there. And I can tell you right now that the casual fans currently at the moment see the product and they say to themselves that they don't like what they see. I know I just went really, really fast for you right there, but I need to speed this up because I have to piss like a goddamn racehorse. All I'm saying is that the ratings have a lot of merit. They dictate where the product is currently going at the moment, and it also dictates where the product is going to go in the future if you do not get your act together. And by that, I mean it predicts, it forecasts where your company is going to be in the next couple of months come this television deal. And if they don't make that money, what's going to happen to the product then? What's going to happen to your favorite wrestlers then, and overall, what's going to happen to the actual company that you're so head over heels for at the moment. You're not going to like it when you have to go back to WWE, and you know you will because you're that much of an obsessed wrestling fan. I get it. I'm the same exact way too, but I'm also a realist. And I'm going to keep focusing on the ratings. And I'm pretty sure Tony himself is focusing on the ratings, because I need to be able to follow up with what's currently going on in AEW. Because leave it up to you guys as a blind rat trying to chase after a cheese, not knowing the entire time that the cheese isn't even in the maze. So what the fuck are you chasing for at that point? What prize are you chasing for? What are you going for at the moment? I need to see those ratings to see where we're going as far as the path of what dictates AEW's future. And like I said, want me to be distracted by it? Give me a decent product. Not you guys thinking to yourself that the consumer, all they want to see is this in-ring bullshit, but an actual good product. Until then, I'm going to keep doing my thingy thing. Pew, pew. Fuck. Rest in peace, King Von. Seriously, those documentaries are the bomb diggity. Someone said it earlier, I'm going down the rabbit hole when it comes to that shit. Abso-fucking-lutely. And I'm about to get to that right now before I piss my pants. Well, first I'm going to go pee, and then I'm going to do that. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Devontae, oh lordy. Here you go again, shitting on AEW. Did I really? This entire time? Did you hear the video this entire time? Did I say anything from an ad hominem standpoint, a serious manner? Or when you hear my tone, honestly, and I'm outright telling you, it's outright concern. It's worry. I do not want to see AEW go out of business. I want to see them in the 2 million rank type of viewership numbers. I want to see them actively competing with WWE. Because when that happens, we all win. I don't want to see AEW go out of business. I want to see them thrive. You want to see AEW go out of business because you're not willing to look at the numbers to see where the fuck they're going currently at the moment. You're like a person sitting at home and you know you have problems with your body, but you don't want to go to the hospital because you don't want to hear the conclusion. And then you fucking die. And who's to blame for that? Who's to blame for this preventable circumstances happening at the moment to not have occurred if you just went to the hospital? Who is to blame for AEW if they inevitably die because you don't want us to look at the numbers? I'll give you a hint. It ain't me. It ain't me. I know something, son. No. Fuck, I suck at this. As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you guys later. Deuces. P. Eyes.